Welcome to the Judgment Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast, episode 36 for January 10th, 2023.
Now adjust the volume control so that the sound can be heard in all parts of the room.
Recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois, you're listening to the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast with Matt and Amy. Come and learn and share a journey with two former craft beer enthusiasts who went from daily drinkers to teetotalers and basically never lost their love for their life together.
Hey, a freak show!
Hello there, children. Welcome to your weekly freak show that is the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast. I am Matt, along with the always lovely and mostly on time Coach Amy. How are you, my love?
Mostly on time.
You show up eventually, so after get everything out of the way, gotta get your drinks and gotta go to the microwave and gotta get a phone call, gotta send an email, gotta use the bathroom, finally we're here. We're present. I've been here, but you're here, present, accounted for. Software crashed.
4 minutes late?
7 minutes late.
No, because at 3 after is when I said, I gotta go do this. Yeah. So, meh. Yes, so here we are.
Happy 10th day of dry January.
9th? Oh, no, that's tomorrow.
This will be the 10th when they hear this.
I'm so bad at that.
I know.
I'm
it's
the
future, Amy. We're talking to the future. Please keep up.
I cannot wait to see what the future's going to be tomorrow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are.
Yeah.
You added a bunch of notes. So
you want me to be a part of the planning process, and now
I
am. And so what I wanted to do, because we haven't done this in a while, and since we're in January and it's all about goal setting,
yes,
I wanted to just share again with everybody what the goal of the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast.
I would love to hear what the goal of the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast is actually. What is our goal? Please share.
This is funny because I've kind of gone over with this, and you and I talked about all of this. Like last year, was it May or April?
I don't know.
March or April.
Please share. What is the goal of what we're doing here?
The goal of the AFM podcast is to share that there is another way of living. I'm going to start over. The goal of the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast is to share that there is another way of living. We are using our platform to educate and share stories of how life can be better living alcohol-free. We want living alcohol-free and not drinking alcohol to be just as normal as drinking alcohol.
Had this been an actual emergency, you've been asked to not open a beer and go directly to the water fountain. You kind of sounded that sort of the goal of the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast.
Do you want to just stop and we'll just start the whole podcast over
fun.
today?
I'm glad. I did not know.
No, you did too know this. We talked about all of this.
Is this written down somewhere?
Yes, it's on my website. It's on our page. It might actually be on. It should be on
the podcast page.
That
would make really good sense. I should look.
Hey, honey, now that we're both not drinking, I want to do a podcast together with you. What do you think?
About how, we were talking about that the other day.
Living alcohol free. We just want it to be considered.
Quitting drinking doesn't fix all of your mental challenges.
Or communication
problems in your relationship. You will still forget you ordered things from Amazon. You will still forget your wife told you things. It's not a miracle cure, but it does help.
It does.
I don't forget as much, so I got that going for me.
Yeah, but since we are in the beginning of the year, we're doing goal. People are doing goals.
So we have a goal here too.
People have intentions. So that's why I thought it made sense to share this.
Fantastic. And Coach Amy, I see you have here some listener feedback. We always love your listener feedback. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, coworkers, neighbor, family dog, whoever. But what is our feedback here, Amy?
It says, Happy New Year. I am so compelled to write you today after listening to your podcast. It was fantastic, amazing. Words do not describe. You have inspired me to go and get This Naked Mind, the book, out of storage and read it again. Thank you for being such an amazing inspiration. God bless you and your beautiful family. Signed, M.E.
The same initials I have.
I know.
But I did not write that. I did not write that to ourselves.
But I will say that it was one of those, I opened it up today. It was in the header for the, not header, in the email, the little line that tells us.
The subject line?
Thank you. Gosh, this is so bad today.
Wow.
So in the subject line, it said, it had a reference to our last episode number 35.
With Ken and the
Yes.
Bamboozled book. Yes, check that one out.
So excited. And it just made
thank
me.
you, ME, for the feedback.
Yeah, it just
Appreciate
made me so happy. And it made me again think, okay, you know what? You have to start out small. You have to start out somewhere. You're not like Mel Robbins, who
shows up
and I mean, like, she did her podcast. I'm not taking that away from her, but like, before she even did it, she's such a big name. It's like, I'm going to do this podcast, and boom, it comes out before it's even the first episode. It's number one. It's like the most subscribed to, those are the things I'm striving for, someday.
We're huge. We're huge in a niche. There you go.
You know what? I'm happy with what we're doing.
Me too.
Again, another thing was, we wanted to podcast years ago together because we wanted that to be our time, like our connection time together.
If we motivate even one person, that's all it takes.
Yeah, it's just to get sober curious.
There you go. Get sober curious.
And that's the great thing. I mean, the next thing you have down is, how is dry January going?
So we've been podcasters off and on for about a decade and a half, and she's done this forever, and she knows it drives me crazy, is literally reading the next line. The next line on our show notes is... It's like reading a PowerPoint. Jeez.
They don't have the PowerPoint.
Exactly.
They don't have the PowerPoint. Okay.
How is your dry January going? I had somebody ask, we posted a picture of our trip yesterday, which we'll get to in a minute.
Oh, no.
But they asked if I was doing dry January or if we were just interested in trying some NA beers. I said, no, we've quit for a long time, so I'll see where that conversation goes.
Yeah, you should.
Our dry January is going like our dry December.
Invite him to listen, or her, or whomever.
It was a him, but yes.
Okay, yeah, that would be, that's awesome.
Speaking of, how's your dry January going? How's your dry January program going?
Well,
kicked off yesterday.
Yesterday, we did a preview video, which turned out to be a video. It was supposed to be a live. That technical difficulties. Thank you, Matt, for coming in and figuring out that it was something very stupid. But at least I am not completely crazy. I'm like, I know I have this set up right.
Zoom.
Yes.
You think after 3 years we'd be better at this stuff?
Tonight is our first. It's one of our first calls, so we're really excited. It seems like everybody is ready to go, and we've got 6 weeks of pouring into this group. So Suzanne and I are so excited about it. And
so it's too late for people to join this group, but they could join next.
They could join.
Right?
You know what? Honestly, if you right now sent me an email and said, this is what we call our pause week, where we're just going to be examining, getting our mindset right for the 30-day break. So, you know what, if you were interested, you could just reach out. But yes, we are planning on doing this again, starting, I think, again in the second weekend of March again.
So if you want to try and get in this one, email amy@joyontheotherside.com. Or if you want to learn about the next one, go to thealcoholfreespirit.com.
Wow.
I know, I did.
That was good.
I didn't break it all.
That was so good. So we're excited. And I wanted to just do a little shout out to my friend, Suzanne. So you mentioned how sometimes, you order something, and this happened a lot when we were in our drinking days. We would order something and go, what the heck is this? Yeah. So I get this little package, and you're like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, what did I order? And then, so I'm opening it up, and I look at it as this little, the company I think is Intentions, myintent.org. And it's like, what's your word of the year? And my word this year is faith. Stepping out of the fear and into, giving it faith. It's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. And so I get it, and I open this up, and I see this. I'm like, am I really losing my mind? Am I, like, what's going on? Because I did look at these. Did I accidentally hit an order or something like that? But no, Suzanne sent it to me, and it was just so nice. And she sent like a little note, and it says, now faith is confidence in what we have for the assurance about what we do not see. God has placed his hand of blessing upon you. Love, Suzanne. And
that was nice.
Oh my gosh, that just was like waterworks. Oh,
well, if you are doing
go.
sober January,
Yeah.
somebody who is, it's always nice to support friends, and that's a good tip for January. Just friends supporting friends. Everybody wants to be like us, like the cool kids, Amy. We are the alcohol-free rebels, the sober rebels.
I know this right now. Everybody is like jumping onto our game.
It's a good time of year for us folk because you can actually, it's cool to be dry. That people, it's on the news and stuff.
It is.
Like it's some kind of like
everywhere.
alien. It's like I saw a UFO. I saw a sober person.
Well, and I freaked out because we went into Hy-Vee and.
Me too.
where our stuff is, here's our they have this little NA section. They have a great section. So Hy-Vee, if you'd like to sponsor us, that would be awesome.
Sure.
So we're coming in and you're like, don't panic.
Yeah, because I did.
You had already did this, the day before or that earlier on that shopping trip. And no, they made a whole end cap.
Yeah.
So we'll post that picture.
Yeah, I panicked. I just took my blind turn into the aisle. I'm like, oh no.
I'm like, what is going on? Don't they know that this is dry January?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And they highlighted it.
Yeah, so it was
they
kind
have
of
a sign above that says dry January.
And they have a very nice selection. And we went ahead and I got a few things because in our group, we're going to do like a happier hour. And I'm excited about that, showcasing some different drinks and stuff that I like. And
I'm going to get my bar set up over here when we get to this stage of straightening up this place, but that's yet to come. That's what spring projects are for.
Spring projects.
Hi, Coach Amy. Our drink of the week is epic this week.
Oh my gosh.
If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see my shirt that says Go Brewing, which is a new, just 2.5 month old NA brewery in Naperville, Illinois, which is close to the cornfields here where we are. And much like the tap houses that you're familiar with, we have one we love here in town called Little Beaver, who has a lot of their own regular beers, and then they stock an NA beer, which is awesome. Appreciate that. We love them for that. This place makes their own NA beer and then stocks a few non-NA beer if you want to take your drinking friend with you. And their stuff is amazing.
It was really good.
On the way home, I told Amy, I go, you know what? I think that's the first time in 2 years that I've had a draft NA beer. I've never had it off the tap. Like nobody has it. It's always in a can.
Yeah. It was really exciting. We were both really kind of giddy.
You called it. We were kind of fangirling a little bit. Like, I want to get a shirt. I want to get a cup. I want to get some beer. We only got one cup and the shirt. We did buy a case of beer too, so yeah.
Well, yeah, because
while you're up there,
we're gonna be highlighting.
But right now, if you go to gobrewing.com, they have 20% off a case for January, and I think it's free shipping too.
Nice. So
we were there, so it didn't matter.
At the end of January, we'll probably want to
right at that very end
get some more on that. But the nice thing is we're kind of excited because if Maggie actually goes to the school that she's thinking about going to up in
be in the neighborhood ish.
It wouldn't be that far away, so we could kind of plan
sneak our way through there.
Yeah. So I'm really excited, everybody. It was awesome.
Yeah. Amy says that the look is sexy industrial.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think is the word you used.
It was. It's just
cool.
It's just a really modern vibe. It had a great big graffiti wall.
Yep.
You can we'll post pictures, but behind the bar, it's like this giant like bookcases behind it. Except when we first looked at it, it looked like it was a mirror, but it's not a mirror. It's actually you can see right into
the brew tanks.
The brewery. Into the tanks.
Yeah, they have a stage, they have music, and they have food trucks that come out. Yeah,
and cool. This month they are open. I think you said
6 days a week.
Yeah,
for dry January. Usually they open Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, most of the time, especially if you're just starting.
A lot of those tap houses when they first start are that way anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but it was great. It was so nice. And
I really enjoyed it.
I can't wait to go up and be there in the summer months where we can actually be outside. Oh, they have a great patio, and it's kind of funny because it's it's like a speakeasy. It's kind of like,
Well, yeah, we drove around the building twice
we're like,
because
where is it at? And we're like, well,
the
we
door's
think
in
it's
the back.
there.
Yeah, the front of the building is the front, but the back is the entrance. So you're on back. Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
We found it. It's not that hard, but yeah.
But it was great.
Yes.
And the staff was just, they were great.
Where's your sticker?
and-
Would you put that sticker? I want to put it in a very prominent spot.
Well, we'll have to.
Maybe we could put it right here.
I don't have that right now, but yeah, we could. That would be awesome. We'll do that. We'll,
All right. So, Amy, what beer do you have with you today from our little trip? These are both from their beta series. There's like a pilot program.
Yes.
It's one of the ones they're trying to see if people like.
and and it's got the little QR code so we can give them feedback. And I was
Correct.
like, I got to do that now.
Right.
Because this is so good. This is the chocolate covered cherry stout.
Amazing. There'll be a picture on YouTube.
So good.
Yes.
And because we got a picture of it.
Yeah.
When we were there.
The way it pours is just amazing.
Oh yeah, it was like
Yeah.
they pour it and then it all just separates and it
I mean, just like a
is
Guinness
good.
or whatever would do.
so good.
And then mine is a grapefruit IPA, which is just what it sounds like, but very light in the fruit side. But is really good. So I had to get that, and then I got another IPA and a Pilsner that we brought home as well from their more standard line. So, but they have NAs, but they put the ABV of all of them like those places would, but it's like very detailed, like 0.38, 0.49, and most of them are under half a percent, which makes it an NA. But
Then
they
they
do have a
had-
light, what would you call it? Low alcohol, like
Low alcohol
1.9,
options. Yep.
1.8. And then they have some more standard ones that are like 5, 6, 7%,
Yeah.
which aren't theirs. They're third party, but something
Which
for everybody.
Still makes it's inclusive.
Yes.
It's inclusive.
Everybody can come get a real beer off a real draft. And
That's the thing I want to point out to any bar restaurant owners. Please be inclusive, because we've made the choice not to drink for health reasons. I mean, honestly, I feel so good now. I don't want to drink anymore. I feel like this is kind of my superpower now, that I don't drink, that I can get stuff done, and I'm not waking up feeling sick and tired of feeling sick and tired every day. But there are people who don't drink because, again, health reasons, but medical, they're on medications or different things like that. They can't, they can no longer drink alcohol, but they want to be a part of this scene. I mean, they enjoy it. We enjoyed that community, that getting together. And it is, to me, it's an insult to me now that you are not.
And we're not saying you have to have a full, huge,
but have a couple,
have a choice or two.
or have a choice.
Yeah.
Just even if it's one, and if you do have one, make it a decent one.
One NA beer is
or two.
But there's a few places that we know it's like they have nothing. It's like.
And
seriously?
they come up with these excuses. Oh, we have to have this. I'm like, well, down the street
They do it.
They're doing it, and
or if there's demand, I'm like, I know there's demand because I've watched people put it in, and they've not only added it, but they've grown it.
You're not looking for the demand. I'm sorry. This industry is growing.
You don't have the demand because you don't have it.
Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine that you don't want to have those customers, because you can charge them
the same price.
The same price.
We pay the same price when we go to Little Beaver for a regular beer as we do for an NA beer.
And
because it costs the same. It's not like it's NA beers aren't necessarily cheaper just because the alcohol's not in it.
Yeah, and also, look at your designated drivers.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
We want people to get home from your establishments, safely. So please.
Some of them are so bad, like they don't even have like the standard mixers. We've interviewed a lot of people like the club soda and like cranberry or tonic and a lime. Like some of them don't even have the mixers, and it's like, okay, now I really have no choice other than like a pop.
You can have. Oh, you want to have a pop?
Yeah, here's a Pepsi and a water.
Here you go. Oh, okay. Well, thanks.
Thanks. I'm here 12 or 90.
Yeah. Exactly. So, anyways, that's our little tirade right there.
Soapbox for you. But yes, Go Brewing in Naperville, but gobrewing.com. They ship.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ship everywhere, but I do know they ship. But
I'm sure it must be for right now. If we know for sure the states,
it feels like, it is real beer, right? But it's very reminiscent of when we would go to a place like that with had alcohol, but it's the same experience, and they're top notch. So if you're enjoying NA beer,
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
Highly.
So
It is right there.
yes.
What you gonna do? Like that song, don't you?
All right, Coach Amy, it is dry January, so I thought, and you added a few too, so thank you very much, we'd give some tips and some suggestions for successful dry Januaries.
Yes.
Or Februaries or whatever month it is.
And yeah, well, if you want to take a break. So
Correct.
obviously this is dry January. It's not too late, people. Just because, you missed that first week. That's why we're starting our group on the 8th.
And I will say, just unlike you might suspect based on current culture, you don't have to quit in months that rhyme with dry.
Yes, you can.
Dry January, sober October, dry July.
I did my first break in
March.
in April.
April.
It
That
was
doesn't
the
rhyme with
April 1st.
anything.
No, April. I don't know. I tried to figure something out, but it did not work. So I wanted to put in here that, remember, no matter when you're doing this, we do have a guide. And so, sign up for our newsletter, which I've sent out 3. Yes.
Wow. How do I sign up for our newsletter, Amy?
If you want to sign up for our newsletter, you just need to go to joyontheotherside.com and it will
podcast.
Well, I put the /podcast for the guide part, but you can just go. I mean, you can get led there, but yes, joyontheotherside.com/podcast and scroll down the page and you can sign up and it kind of gives you some information about our guide. Our guide is the 5 o'clock somewhere alcohol-free edition and it's 7 tips for taking a break from alcohol.
There you go. Sign up for my kids.
Wow, when you write that down,
It makes it really easy to remember.
oh my gosh, how awesome is that?
We're so smart.
So, yeah. But we wanted to take you in with some different tips. So, why don't we go ahead and get that started, Matt? Why don't you go ahead and start us out?
Number 1, I will read. Jeez. The first one, is pretty straightforward. But get a friend. Get friends to join who are like-minded like you, who are interested in maybe just trying it. We have people in our house still. I forgot people. I thought kids were all at school. They're not all at school. Sorry. But find a friend. I think, going off a little bit of this, someone to do it with you, or just somebody who knows you're doing it, who will support you.
Yeah.
Like check in with you or talk to you,
Yeah.
or when you go out, they may still drink, but they will not drink when you go out or go do things with you that don't involve alcohol.
Yeah. Somebody who wants to support you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody who's done it before. And if you are doing this, there's so many different groups online. You can seek, help there as well, like support. And if you're feeling like you need to reach out to somebody, reach out to us. We're
Yes.
here. We will cheer. We'll be your cheerleaders.
Yes.
That's what I think is the great thing about doing this and going ahead first. But along with this, what I wanted to really kind of, I guess, stress is ask yourself the question, why are you doing this? Are you doing this just because other people are doing it? Or, are you thinking, wow, maybe I really should take a break? But, whatever that answer is, that's okay. Whatever your answer is, you could say, well, you know what? This last month, I was hitting it pretty hard. I just want to take a break. It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
Absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong answers in any of this. There's no beating yourself up. You're just taking a break. I'm just going to see what this is like.
Yep.
And just bringing in your curiosity.
And dry January is good for everybody. Even if you turn around and start drinking in February, it still is hopeful to quit
Absolutely.
that 1 month. It's still beneficial.
Yep, it's very beneficial.
Yep. The next tip would be to keep, when you're going to have that craving, which we all know will come, keep something around, plan ahead of what would be that replacement beverage. We always called it replace the ingredients, keep the ritual.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
whether that's, it could be, we've talked to people, it's everything from, club soda and lime to I just drink water to an NA beer to, one of these fancy NA mixed drinks that we put together, whatever it happens to be. Focus on having that available, and that becomes your treat and your thing. And it for us, the ritual piece was big.
Yeah.
And so having that NA wine or NA beer or NA whatever, to, we're mixing the drinks and we're doing that same thing we always did at 5 o'clock, but there was no alcohol, helped feel like we weren't depriving ourselves because we were still engaging in the same activity.
And kind of going into that, the science aspect of it as well. I mean, you are taking an addictive substance away from your body, but there really is. There's the other thing that is the habit of just that ritual that you have created going home. Many of you are probably like we were. You don't even think about it. You walk into the house, you grab your glass, you pour your glass of wine or your beer, and that has gotten to be, it's on autopilot.
Yep.
So there is nothing wrong with continuing that, but replacing something that is healthy and is not going to, take this away from you.
Leave the autopilot on, just get in a different airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is this next one is a good reason why January is a good month to do this, is to avoid places where you'll be tempted, because the holidays, right? There's a lot of holiday parties and holiday events and family get-togethers. January is pretty much lacking any activity for the most part, for most areas.
Well, and you know what's funny is you just said that is I was talking with one of my clients, and they just had their holiday party.
Really?
Last night. But the great thing is there are so many people who are
doing dry
January that right. It was really it was a lot of fun.
Right.
So they had that little bit of a group. Cool. Everybody was together. So then they were with the restaurant going, oh, hey, can you make us this and that? And they live fortunately in a larger metropolitan area where they're like, yeah, let's do this. So,
yep.
But I think that was the other thing and then being so surprised that, this was actually fun. And, and then also along with that, going back to what you had said, let someone know. So if you do have an event or a party or something, because there's always something that comes up, let them know. Don't surprise them at the event. You can just say, because that's when you're going to get that's when you can get pushback from people. So if you just say, hey, you know what? I just want to let you know, I'm going to be bringing my own stuff. I'm doing dry January. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay. And make it as matter of fact,
right? That
it's not up really for discussion. Because I think the thing we run into is far too often people will be like, well, what are you doing that for? Hey, well, you drink with me. And the reason that is because we're shining a mirror on something they're doing. But with dry January, so many people are doing it. You can take advantage of it. Hey, I'm doing dry January. I'm doing dry January. This is great. I'm doing this. Just going to take a month off.
And then if you decide to keep going, February just works out well because I did dry January. I just kept on going.
Yeah, I feel good.
Which technically is what I'm doing. I did dry January 2 years ago and I'm just still going.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. I mean, we're coming up. I'm getting closer to 3 years and it's been that, I'm still doing this experiment. And more now I've kind of looked at it as the experiment of life. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm still doing this.
Oh,
what's going on?
Life.
Yeah, I know.
Deep.
Do you like that?
I do. Going along with the whole keeping your ritual, losing the alcohol, is making plans for those times of day, whatever.
When you would drink,
that you normally would grab that drink. So, whether it's working out, go for a walk, diving into or back into a hobby or something, right? Because the challenge and joy that I personally found with quitting was, now what do I do? I'm just sitting here. I'm not drinking. I'm just sitting here. What do I do? Mm-hmm. And at first you're like, oh, crap, what do I do? And then you kind of come around to anything I want.
You come up to that, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Well,
do something.
You actually were bored beforehand and you were just masking that with alcohol.
True. You go to the hardware store at 7 o'clock at night or something.
So, So again, find something. Like when I first did this, I don't think it's on you probably can't see it. No, in the camera. Behind you, there's a bookcase that I refinished. That was that was when I first started. I'm like, I got to do something with my hands.
You refinished a lot of stuff.
I refinished. We did a lot of furniture. The wallpaper behind here. This is not real shiplap with moss.
Shocking.
With moss growing on it or anything.
It looks so real.
But being able to do that, just picking out something. And
Yep.
here's the thing. None of this has to cost you money.
No.
It doesn't have to. And here's the thing, because surprise, I'm going to spring something on you here.
What?
All you have to do is Google it. You just
what?
Google it, and
Yeah.
you can find out all kinds of
There's
different
this website
things.
I found called YouTube.
I know.
The
Tube of Views.
You can learn everything there.
But what you can do too is, like, I would like to learn to do some dancing, because you and I used to dance all the time. We would do swing dancing, but we would just make up our own thing.
Yes.
And I'm kind of like, you know what? We could probably be halfway decent with that. So
Dancing with the Stars. That's us.
not really, but we are going
Former
to
podcasters.
we're going to do that. And so there's lots of little programs, and some that aren't that are maybe that do cost, but they're not that expensive. You can do it at home, or I know that there are places locally. You just have to get on there, Google it, dancing near me, dance lessons near me, things like that.
Yes.
We're
and
not
don't-
doing
and don't
that. We're
look at-
doing that at home. I don't want to do that in a group setting. I just want to do it to have fun.
There you go. And don't look at, it's a 31-day challenge, but it's easier to look at it as a 1-day challenge over 31 days,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
you're not racing to the end. It's like, well, I'm doing it today. And I've been doing that personally the same way as every day. It's like, that's just what I do today. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow will be different, but I'll worry about that when I get there.
Absolutely. And I want to say also, but if you do have a drink, don't throw your hands up in the air and go, oh, I can't do this. What's wrong with me?
Right.
I did that for years. I never did dry January personally. I could not do dry January because I knew I wouldn't be able to get through it. So I was just that whole self-defeating thoughts. I was like, no,
If I can't do all 31 days, why bother?
Nope, I'm not going to be able to do it. Just look at it. Don't look at this as a failure. Look at it as a learning moment. We call them, from This Naked Mind, we call them data points. And it's just a chance, like, oh, get curious about it. Well, why did I drink? Why did I do that? What was going on before I decided to take a drink? And just examine that, write it down, ask yourself some, just some questions. Even if it's just like, I was feeling kind of blue today. And so I went ahead and I drank. Well, and that's it. That's the observation.
Right.
You don't have to attach any meaning to it. Just say, you know what? Oh, the next day. So, and then look at it this way. So you had, maybe you made it to day 15 and you had one. So you have 15 minus 1.
Right.
And maybe at the end of the month, maybe instead of it being 31 days, maybe it's 31 days minus 4.
Yep. Well, get one of those sober apps.
But think how great that is.
Yeah.
We look at it all the time that it's this all or nothing. And look how awesome that is. Especially, maybe you've never done this before. I mean, I'll tell you what, when I hit 5 days the first time, I was just so excited. When I hit 14, I was like, are you kidding me? I haven't done this since I was
forever.
pregnant.
Yeah. And I was never pregnant, so I never did it.
Yeah. So,
Well,
there you go.
I speaking of data and data points, I love the apps. There's a ton of sobriety apps out there, but some will show you the calendar view where you can see how many days you drank and didn't drink, which, again, good, better. It's like you can say, all right, well, look, this time I did 14 days out of 30. Well, next month, let's try for at least 16 days or whatever, you know. So
yeah, if you decide to do that. And for me, the other thing I don't have a calendar like that right now. But last year, what I did was, it was for exercise. I went through and I always would hit that little box. Okay, I've gone through. Okay, here's the month of January. And I would look at it and say, okay, well, how many days did I exercise versus, beating myself up because I missed an exercise, a day in there at the exercise. And it's that all or nothing mindset that we just go to immediately because our brain is geared for negativity.
Right.
And so when you look at that, it's like, no, but you can train your brain to be positive and to reframe that and say, no, hey, you know what?
Right.
Look what I did. Or if I can't do a workout, then, well, I just can't do it. Then I'm not even going to do anything. Well, I used to be like that too. But now it's like, you know what? If I can get, instead of my 30, 45-minute workout in, if I can get 20 minutes in or 10,
better than nothing.
it is. It's always we're doing progress.
Right.
Progress over perfection.
Ooh, look at that. That sounds like a coaching word to me. This next one's it can be a little divisive, controversial, depending on where you're at in your journey. But I think in January it's easier because more people are doing it. But, this says tell the world, but tell people what you're doing. You're likely to inspire someone that may be all they need to take the first step into a healthier lifestyle. So, our podcast is at, middle of June. It may feel a little awkward to say, I'm quitting drinking. Because, why are you quitting drinking? Do you have a problem?
Oh, yeah. I know.
But if you do it in January, it's like, oh, hey, I'm doing dry January. If anybody wants to do it, that's an easier time to start that conversation. And us sharing our story, the number of people who have come out of the woodwork, and slid into our DMs. Is that always a derogatory thing? Anyway, who hit us up in the chats or whatever to say, hey, thanks, I heard this and I'm trying to, or I have and they ebb and flow through their journey. But you'll be surprised that you're not alone. Don't worry, you're not alone.
You're not alone. And it really, the trend is people are moving forward, and we're not, again, what we say, we are not anti-alcohol.
No.
We just want to have it be just as normal, just as normal to not drink as it is to drink alcohol.
Right. We want to make not drinking in the same line as the vegetarian movement.
Yes.
Which it used to be similar to. It's like,
Exactly. And now that's, if somebody orders something vegetarian, no one questions it.
And no restaurant would try and dare
no
to go
one
without
cares.
having, nothing vegetarian.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. So, you just want to make sure that you remember that you are important.
Yes.
That your health is important. And I go back to this all the time, like the peer pressure, like kids. Kids are, peer pressure is so hard when they're young. That's so hard. It is hard your entire life.
Oh,
That's why we call it keeping up with the Joneses.
Yep. Yeah.
Stay in your own lane with this. And if you have somebody who, is doing this, be supportive no matter what. And you're probably, if you're listening to this, you are going to be supportive.
Well, and from a men's standpoint, my goal is to destigmatize the not drinking. I still hang out with people who drink. I don't care. It's fine. I don't. It's like, do you care if I drink? I don't care. I am not drinking for you. I'm not drinking for me.
I'm not drinking.
There might be too many negatives in there. I don't know, but I'm doing it for me.
I'm
you
doing
do
it
you.
for
I don't care.
My liver.
We still go to bars. We still go to restaurants. We do all these events. We do everything that we normally would always done. It's just we don't drink.
And as we've said before, we have discovered that there are a lot of people who don't drink the way we drank.
Oh, yeah.
They are normal drinkers. They will go out and they will have just one or two. And then they don't have any for a week or something like that. There are people who do have that mindset. They haven't attached a purpose or a job, as Carla Adkins said a few episodes back, to alcohol. Alcohol does this for me. And, this is my doctor. Alcohol is my doctor right now, or alcohol is my, what did I say? My party. He helps party plan with me. All of those different things. So it's just being really aware of yourself and what your needs are. And the reason so many of us drink is because we are pushing down our needs and being people pleasers and worried about what other people's needs are. And not that that's a bad thing, but there is a point when you always are putting yourself last. That's when it can become a real problem.
And when you give alcohol a job, don't ever give alcohol a job.
Yeah, no job.
That's a problem. Mm-mm. All right there, Coach Amy. I think those are some great tips to help our friends out there get through the dry January and, maybe go into dry February. It's a thing. You can do it.
And share this message.
We'd love to hear your story. If you've had challenges or successes, let us know. Amy@jointheotherSide.com.
Write in and just let us know. And also, here's another thing. If there's a subject or a topic that you would like us to cover, let us know, because we would love to dive in. I want to get a little bit more in depth on some of these topics, and this was a great one Thank you, Matt.
There you go. Once in a while, I show up to the table with something deep. Not deep, but
Some good stuff.
good tips. I'm full of it.
And don't forget, go brewing. And remember, if you are at your local establishment, if you're at a bar, if you're at a restaurant, ask. Because the more we ask, the more they're going to hear it. And the chances of them going, oh, you know what?
Then we don't have the
do
demand
this.
argument doesn't hold up
Exactly.
anymore. So.
Exactly.
Be the change you want to see.
That's right.
Be the demand.
Be the change.
All right, kids.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for joining us here on the Alcohol-Free Marriage Podcast. If you want feedback, do that in those podcast feeders or amy@jointheotherSide.com. Otherwise, check us out next week. Till then, I am Matt along with Coach Amy wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. And we are out.